Good morning, everyone. This is Erica from Me to You Paper Crafts. And every Monday morning at 10 a.m. I come live on my Erica's VIP Crafters group with a fun card sketch. I love card sketches, particularly for those people who are new to card making, because it helps you design a card. So it gives you lots of different ideas, and it gives you the measurements. I love card sketches with measurements. Now you can search Pinterest and you will find thousands and thousands of card sketches. And so you basically think about, I always start with a stamp set that I want to use. So today I'm going to be using this Inspiring Iris. This is a beautiful set for spring, and the leaves on the trees and the buds on my hydrangeas and their daffodils in my garden. So it's spring. So I thought I would pull this stamp set in this morning, and I'm going to be using beautiful purples. I know irises come in different colors, but the purple ones are my favorite. Good morning, Laura. Nice to see you here. And it's okay if you can't stay for the whole thing. Yeah, that's what card sketches are all about. So for those of you who are new to me, you can go to my Facebook page from Me to Paper Crafts and then join my group. And so then you can, craft. I encourage everybody to craft along with me. I post the sketch the day before so that you can see what we're doing. And then you can go ahead and pick a stamp set, pick out your cardstock, your designer series paper, your colors that you want to use, and you can craft along with me if you like, or just sit back and watch and enjoy. Now I've already pre-stamped this little element here. Kind of shows you an idea. It could be a punched out flower, it could be a circle with a greeting on it, it could be a number of things. I've decided to stamp out this cute little flower from the set. And then there is an overlay on here, which I didn't put on I forgot that there's an overlay. This stamp set, these two-step stamp sets that they're called, are a quicker way of stamping because you don't have to color in things. They they give you an outline of the flower, okay, and then they give you, so this is the outline of the little flower with the leaves. I should put this here so you can see it. There you go. Can see it better on white. So this is the outline with the flowers, and then they're giving you a fill-in piece for the flower, and then there is a fill-in piece for the leaves. Excuse me. So let's put this on another block. There we go. Okay. So I've already stamped the outline. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and stamp the inside. So I like to stamp the outline first. Excuse me. I'm going to take a sip of my coffee here. Good morning, Barbara and Carol. Nice that you could catch me this morning. Okay, so what I like to do is to stamp the outline first, and then I come in with the fill. And if you hover over it, kind of get your head right over it and hover over it until you see that it's all lined up, and then you slowly press down. And you should get, you see? And what I love about this actually is that sometimes you're not perfect, and so it leaves a tiny little bit of a white in there, and I like that. It's kind of artsy. Okay, so this flower I will also do in purple. So I will bring in my gorgeous grape. Now this, I'm going to just orient this until I know where it stamps. I think it lines up, so we'll just orient this a little bit until I find it. Sometimes they line up really well and other times they don't. I should have practiced this before I came live. Oh, there we go, we've got it. I think it's right there. Okay, so let's ink this up. And then let's stamp it. There we go. Okay, so there's our flower. Now I'm going to actually fussy cut this. I'm going to let it dry, and then I'm going to fussy cut it, and that is going to be my flower image on the sketch here. Okay. So let's close our ink pads. Oh, and I'm going to leave this one open. So the next thing I wanted to do is the card sketch called for a card base. So I'm actually using this gorgeous grape card base. So I'm just going to fold this in half. And then I'm going to use my bone folder and burnish to get a nice crisp edge. Okay, and then it asked for 2 pieces of paper that were 3 by 4.5. So what I decided to do, I've got one which is a piece of designer series paper, okay, and then I've got another one which is my Whisper White, and I'm going to actually stamp my iris on this Whisper White. And then because I'm using mint macaron to color my leaves, I pulled in another piece of designer series paper to create this strip along here like that. So this is going to go something like that on the card. So that's the basic, and then I'll do the flower over here after I cut it out. So that's kind of the basic design. Now, some other ideas that you might want to think about is that you could do some shadow stamping on the background, on the card base if you wanted to. This piece, you could stamp it and then you could run it through an embossing folder. You could make the designer series paper the focal image and then die cut something to go on the top. So that's what I love about card sketches, that there's lots and lots of ideas that you can do for that. Okay, so let's do some stamping on this piece. So I have mounted, there's this beautiful cluster of irises here. So let me get out my Memento ink. Good morning, Joan. Nice to see you. So let's stamp that. Now, because I think my flower might overlap a little bit here, I'm going to put this over on the right-hand side, I think. Like so. Oops, I lifted that up a little bit. Hope it's okay. Yep, we're good. Good to go. Okay, and then we've got, again, the second stamping is there are a set of leaves here. So again, I'm going to use my mint macaron and overlay these. So again, just kind of hover until you see that these are lined up. These are a little bit more difficult to line up, I think. There we go. I think that might be good. No, I think it needs to come this way a bit. I'm trying to get that stem at the top there. There we go. I think I've got it. Okay, when you get a new stamp set, it takes a while to figure out in some cases, and then once you know where it is, you're good to go. There we go, pretty good. Again, I like the little bits of white in there. Okay, now we're going to do the purple. So let me pull in the gorgeous grape again and do these irises. Now again, there's this piece of the stem here. It's kind of like the base of that flower, and that's where that hole is. So you just want to line that up. like that. I think that looks pretty good. Again, I don't mind that it's offset. I think it gives it a bit of an artistic flair. Oh, that's quite a bit offset, and I do like it. Yeah, the whole flower is tilted, but that's kind of nature, isn't it? Okay, so that's all I'm going to do on that. I mean, if you were really fussy, you could come in with your, I've got these blend markers here in those two colors. You could come in and you could fill in bits if you wanted to. It depends on the look that you're looking for. I've got these butterflies. Put these out of my way, which I think I was working on that new butterfly set. I've been doing a lot of cards. So I could add a little butterfly in here too. All right, let's pull out my... Now, this doesn't indicate that there's a greeting on the front, but that shouldn't stop you. If you wanted to do a greeting, you can. Let me get out my paper snips here. So first, when I start fussy cutting, I kind of just get rid of the bulk of the paper. And I'm not going to be too picky about this, because I don't want to fussy cut all the way around the leaves. So I'm just going to do a basic cut here. Anyone crafting along with me this morning? I'll bet Carol is. You always like this opportunity to make a card. It's a beautiful, beautiful sunny day here today. It's starting to warm up. How many of you really noticed the time change yesterday? My husband kind of said, oh my God, I can't believe it's 10 o'clock already, because at 10 o'clock we usually sit down with a cup of tea and watch a show. He said, I feel robbed. I feel like I need another hour before we do that. And he was right. I felt that too. Normally I don't notice the time change, but I did last night. So as I fussy cut, I don't know if you're noticing it, but I move the paper more than I move my scissors. It makes it a lot easier if you move your paper. You don't get those sharp edges everywhere. Okay, there we go. Okay, so let's get rid of all of this scrap out of the way. A nice big scrap bucket underneath my desk, and I'm going to save this little piece that could create a greeting. Okay, so let's start building our card now. Let's see what we want to do. So we're going to put this on crooked. Well, this card sketch shows it's going over to the, it's higher on the left than the right, if you want to follow the sketch. And then there's this piece. Now, this could be a piece of ribbon. So I'm going to give you a suggestion. If you wanted to use a piece of ribbon, whenever I use ribbon, what I do is I would have my card base, then I would cut another layer of cardstock on here, 1/8 of an inch smaller. Then I would wrap my ribbon around that piece and then glue it to the card base. Okay, if you're going to do ribbon, it needs to wrap around something. I mean, you could wrap it around the card base. I particularly don't care for that. And so I like, if I'm going to use ribbon, I'll add an extra layer to my card. Okay, so the sketch shows we've got a piece of paper here. This is 3 by 4.5. And then we've got this piece that goes across like that. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to see if there's anything in the stamp set we could use to add a bit of shadow background on here. So I want to show you a technique. So we have a stamp pad called, excuse me, called Versamark. Okay, it's a very sticky pad, and we use this whenever we're doing powder embossing. But this creates a beautiful shadow effect, especially on dark cardstock. So I'm going to pull out maybe these leaves here, and I'm going to clean these off before I put them in more ink. All right, so if you just randomly stamp some of these leaves, I'm not going to go into the center because my other pieces are going to hide that. I'm just going to, I think, go around the edges here. And so this is just creating what's actually a watermark, what they refer to as a watermark. And it's a great way to add a bit of texture to your background. I'll hold this down to the camera. I think that's enough. That's all I need. Okay, let's put the lid on this. And kick this out of the way. All right, I'll hold this up and see. So I can tell that it's a little bit wet. So with Versamark, it would be at this point, then you pull out an embossing powder, cover it in the powder, shake it off, and then you use your heat tool. That's what embossing is all about. Okay, but you can use it just as this waterfall effect. And then you want to wait a few minutes and let that dry. So we've got our irises. We've got this other piece. It's going to go on here. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this. I'm going to pull out my silicone mat. And sit this on here like this. Okay, and then we want this little piece of green across here. So let me glue this on. I often like a strip that's a little bit wider than the card, and then I trim it. Okay, so I always trim it from the back. Okay, so this is coming along now. And then this goes on. I want to show my two of my points here. So this is going to go on. Oh, this is one of my favorite types of cards. I love cards that are a little bit wonky or skewed. Okay, so let's glue this one on. There we go. I just love all that purple. Okay, and here's my little flower, and I'm going to mount this on a dimensional. So that flower is going to go maybe, oh yeah, like that. So let's pull out a dimensional. I'll put one here, and I'm going to pull out my tiny ones. And I'll put one here, and I'll put one here. Okay. So I'm going to put that on there like that. And a card, I think, is pretty well pretty well finished. Now, if you wanted to do a greeting, you know, you could take a strip and put down the bottom. What kind of greetings have I got on here? Thanks. Wishing you the best. Sending hugs, prayers, and lots of love. There's also a decorative piece on here that you could stamp on, maybe the inside of your card or even your envelope. Let's see. I get worried about stamping after I've done the whole thing, just in case. Although with photopolymer, it's very rare that you get that, what's called halo. I might do a thanks. This thanks is cute because it's curved. It would be fun to curve it over something. I think I'm going to do something a little bit different today. Okay, so let's do, I'm being risky today, ladies. Let's do a thanks here. I'm going to do a thanks here. And I'm going to do a thanks here. I know exactly who I'm sending this card to. We are sending cards to the staff in our Stampin' Up! Warehouse because they are working around the clock to get our orders out. And they are struggling with COVID. So we've decided to send them some cards. Okay, to say thank you for all their hard work. All right, so I, of course, am going to use a wink of Stella. And I'm just going to maybe go over those dark bits. Just just to add a little something extra here. And we'll do some on this flower. Oh, you all know how much I love Wink of Stella. I mean, we used to have something called Dazzling Diamonds. It was a powder, and you basically put glue on your image and then sprinkled this, and it is dazzling. I still love it. I wish they'd bring it back because it's stupendous at Christmas time. But you have to wait for it to dry. Okay, now this actually calls, I want to put some pearls maybe in the center of this flower here. So I'm going to open up, I think I opened it up already. I've got a new pack of, I want to do 3 little pearls in there. Open up, I have a new pack of pearls here. Where are they? Oh, here they are. So I just got these in. So I want these tiny ones here. And I'm going to do a cluster of tiny little pearls in here. Now, what's fantastic about these pearls is that you can color them with your blends. So you color them on here first, and then you can use them. So you can color them. Oh, that pearl's a gimpy pearl. It doesn't have any shine on it. Come on. There we go. Just 3 tiny pearls on there. Okay, there's my card, ladies. Where are we at? We're only at 10:25. That was a pretty quick card to put together. So there we go. there is our card. So I think I'll do an inside. Now I had cut an extra piece of Whisper White. These are some, are these my 4 by 5 1/4? Let's see. I'll do an inside card too. 4 by 5 1/4. All right. So the inside of the card, just to give you some other ideas, does not have to be a 4 by 5 1/4. And the other fantastic thing is that if you have any kinds of dies, like for example, we've got these fantastic stitched scalloped dies. You could cut a panel for the inside of your card using one of these. So maybe I'll show you how that works. And we also have these fantastic rectangle dies. These are fantastic for layering. So rather than, you know, cutting out your cardstocks, you can layer a bunch. And these are great. All of these dies are great for making windows for your cards. So you see you've got, and you've actually got a great big card layer here too. So actually, maybe I will go and run this one through and show you. And then we've got some other dies. These are great for greetings. So I've got this big one. So that will just trim that out and give it some stitching. I think that I'm gonna go down a layer. I think. Yeah, let's go down a layer. So I'll go over to the cut and emboss machine. I'll be right back. So there you go. There's your stitched piece. Look how nice that looks. And you could do layers if you wanted to. Now, the one thing I want to advise you about, if you have any dies that have straight edges, make sure when you run it through your die cutting machine that you don't do it straight on. You should always, you know, skew it a little bit. So when I put it on my paper, I just angle it a little bit and run it through. You want to catch a point rather than go straight across. Okay? That's something to be aware of. All right, so I'm going to use this stitching, but before I do that, let's do some stamping on here. So I thought maybe I'd bring in that fun little element that's in the stamp set here. Oh my gosh. When I'm crafting, I collect so much stuff here. Okay, this little element here is kind of interesting. So let's pull this out. All right, so here's another tip. When you have stamps that are particularly the photopolymer stamps, I mean, you can actually curve the benefit of these photopolymer stamps is that you can actually curve them and create some interesting patterns with it. So what I do to make sure it's straight though, I put it I put it down versus laying it on the block. You should put it down because it lies flat if it's down versus trying to put it on, you know, manually putting it on. You could skew it a bit if that's not your intention, you don't want to do that. Okay, so I think I'm going to, let's decorate the inside of our card. I rarely show you what I do on the inside. So let's give you a peek into. So I'm going to put this along the bottom, like so, and then I'm going to create one up the side. Like so. So I'll probably do the same. Let me grab an envelope. I'll do the same on the envelope. Oops, something's on the floor here. I often design my envelope to match the inside of my card because I think it creates some kind of a visual flow. So let's do one, actually we'll do it on this side. So we'll do one here and turn it sideways and do one up the side. This is cool because you can create a graded pattern on your card. like a trellis maybe. Okay, and let me think. Maybe I'll do that flower again. Actually, look at this. Oh, this is I love this. This is so sweet. I remember making some customer thank you cards last year with this small, we have a carnation here. Carnations are one of my favorite flowers. So let's do this little carnation here. So I need a small block. And yes, I have a lot of blocks because I don't like cleaning my stamps and remounting them during a project. I like to have lots. Well, truth be known, I mean, yes, I like to have a lot of blocks. So I don't like switching them up while I'm crafting because I lose my train of thought. But the other reason I have lots of blocks is because, you know, I was teaching classes and I hope to get back to that as soon as everybody's vaccinated. So that's really why. Okay, where's all my elements? So there's my, oh no, that's my little thanks. Okay, so I'm going to do the outside first. So let's pull in my black again. I'm going to do it here, maybe overlap it a bit. So there's my base. Here's my green. So I'm going to do the fill piece in green. There we go. And then I have the, I think I'm going to pull in, oh no, I'll use this same dark purple. That's fine. I was thinking something else here. And then let's do the top. Okay, so there is the design on the inside of the card. Okay, and then I will do the same on the envelope. So let's pull in the black. Okay, and then let's do purple on the top, and then let's do the green stem. There we go. See, look how pretty that would be to receive in the mail instead of just a blank envelope. Always decorate the outside of your envelopes, ladies. All right, so let's put this on the inside of our card now. I need to wash my, oh, what am I doing? What am I doing? I'm going on the inside of my card here. Here we go. And the other thing too to think about, this, you know, these are a little bit crooked or wonky on the front, so your inside does not have to be dead on straight either. So there you go. I'm putting it on sideways. Okay, so there's your card, outside, inside, and your matching envelope. I hope that's given you lots of ideas, ladies. Post your cards. I'm going to be doing a draw our first Monday in April. I'm going to do a draw I'm going to be giving out 2 sets of embellishments for January, February, and March. So you can catch up if you want by posting your cards. So what I ask that you try and do is to go into this Erica's VIP Crafters, find the post of the sketch you want to do, and post it in the comments underneath that post. Then I will go through them all. I've already collected a whole bunch, and I want to give everybody a chance to submit their cards. And then I'll do a draw that very first Monday in April. So if you want to hop on, mark your calendar for that first date in April, the Monday in April, for the draw for 2 sets of embellishments for 2 people, okay? And if I draw the same name, I will draw again so that 2 people get a chance, okay? So thanks for joining me. Thanks for your comments, everyone. And I hope to see you again. Now, I'm coming live again on Thursday night in my regular business page for Me Too Paper Crafts. So I hope to see you then. It'll be at 8 p.m. on Thursday night. And let people know so that if any of your other crafting friends want to stay tuned, that they can join. So thanks so much, everyone. Have a super day. Bye for now.